Stanley Kubrick, The Shining, and the Moon Landing Confession, a cinematic hoax in 237 steps. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is a psychological horror masterpiece, but for some conspiracy theorists, it's more than that. It's Kubrick's veiled confession to helping fake the 1969 Apollo 11 moon landing. Yes, forget the ghosts, blood-soaked elevators, and Jack Nicholson's unhinged grin. This movie is apparently Kubrick's mea culpa for staging mankind's most famous off-world field trip. If you think this theory is outrageous, you're absolutely correct. But it's also outrageously entertaining. So buckle up, conspiracy theorists and skeptics alike, as we delve into the hilarious proof that The Shining is Kubrick's way of whispering, "Okay, fine, I faked it. Are you happy now?" Exhibit A. Danny's Apollo 11 sweater. The conspiracy theorist's crown jewel is young Danny Torrance's now iconic sweater, featuring a rocket labeled Apollo 11. Danny, the innocent vessel of psychic powers and arguably the sanest Torrance family member, is seen wearing the sweater while playing with toy trucks in the Overlook Hotel. To some, this sweater isn't just wardrobe. It's a neon sign screaming, "Yes, I filmed Neil Armstrong bouncing around on a soundstage." Why would Kubrick hide this in plain sight? According to the theory, he couldn't resist sprinkling in a clue for those perceptive enough to catch it. Or maybe he just thought, this kid needs a sweater. What's hot right now? Rockets? Sure, let's go with rockets. After all, it was the late 1970s, and space-themed clothing was basically the Fortnite merch of its time. Exhibit B, Room 237. The infamous Room 237 is another cornerstone of the moon landing confession theory. In The Shining, this room is the hotel's most sinister and enigmatic space, where bad things happen and bad vibes live rent-free. Conspiracy theorists argue that the number 237 is significant because the moon is approximately 237,000 miles from Earth. Coincidence? They think not. Never mind that the room number was changed from 217, as it was in Stephen King's novel, to 237 because the real-life Timberline Lodge didn't want guests freaking out over a cursed room. To theorists, Room 237 is a metaphor for the moon landing hoax, hidden, ominous, and full of terrifying truths that only Kubrick dares to reveal. Exhibit C. The Overlook Hotel is NASA. The Overlook Hotel is itself a metaphor for NASA, according to these enthusiasts. The hotel, built on Native American burial grounds, manifest destiny, represents the United States and its imperialist ambitions, like, say, planting a flag on the moon. The ghosts of the Overlook, meanwhile, represent the weight of Kubrick's guilt for participating in this monumental hoax. And Jack Torrance? He's supposedly Kubrick's stand-in. His obsessive descent into madness mirrors Kubrick's alleged torment while crafting a fake moon landing so convincing that Buzz Aldrin would later punch a conspiracy theorist in the face over it. Jack's typewriter, endlessly churning out all work and no play, makes Jack a dull boy, could even represent Kubrick's grueling task of faking endless lunar footage. Or it could just be what happens when someone doesn't take breaks. Exhibit D. Tangled carpets and lunar landscapes. The Overlook's iconic carpet pattern, a dizzying geometric design, has also been roped into the conspiracy. Some theorists claim the pattern resembles the Apollo 11 launch pad, though you'd have to squint, tilt your head, and maybe take a hallucinogen to see it. For them, every triangle and line is a secret code, a cry for help from Kubrick, who was apparently desperate to come clean about his supposed moon-related misdeeds. Adding to this tangled mess is the fact that Kubrick's visual mastery in 2001, A Space Odyssey, convinced many that he could easily fake a moon landing. Because if there's one thing we know about Hollywood, it's that a convincing sci-fi movie is exactly the same as faking an actual interstellar event. Spoiler, it's not. Exhibit E, the typewriter and the eagles. Eagle-eyed theorists, pun intended, point to Jack's typewriter as yet another piece of evidence. The typewriter is a German Adler, a brand whose name means eagle. Why does this matter? Because the Apollo 11 lunar module was called the Eagle. Theorists see this as Kubrick's subtle wink to the fact that the eagle has landed was a line not spoken on the moon, but on a soundstage somewhere in Burbank. Of course, it's entirely possible Kubrick just liked the typewriter because it looked cool. But where's the fun in that? Exhibit F. Kubrick's perfectionism. Finally, let's talk about Kubrick himself. The man was known for his obsessive attention to detail, filming scenes hundreds of times to get them just right. If anyone could fake the moon landing and make it look convincing, it would be Kubrick, or so the theory goes. His alleged confession in The Shining is supposedly his way of grappling with the guilt of using his genius to deceive billions of people. This raises a critical question. If Kubrick really faked the moon landing, Why would he confess in The Shining of all places? Why not in, say, A Clockwork Orange, or during a dramatic live press conference? The answer, according to conspiracy theorists, is that he couldn't admit it outright, so he buried clues in his art, trusting only the smartest viewers to uncover the truth. Or, people with way too much time on their hands. Conclusion: the final frontier of absurdity. In the end, the idea that The Shining is Kubrick's confession to faking the moon landing is both hilarious and strangely poetic. It's a theory that says more about our collective need for grand narratives than it does about Kubrick himself. The man was a cinematic genius, yes, but a hoaxer? Probably not. Still, it's fun to imagine him chuckling behind the camera, knowing his work would inspire endless debates about carpets, sweaters, and fake lunar soil. So, the next time you watch The Shining, keep an eye out for Apollo 11 Easter eggs. And if you start to believe the conspiracy, just remember, all work and no play makes you, well,